'cause the vibe is about to be different.
So I accidentally created this piece of music that, with me anyway, has about a 95% success rate in getting me to sleep quickly, which is unlike anything I've ever tried before, whether it's white noise or rain noise or different kinds of music, guided meditation. They can all help a bit, but sometimes they'll do nothing. Sometimes they'll just make me more awake. And of course, many times I've tried sleeping in silence. I find it hit or miss. What's extra wild is this piece of music is only 4.5 minutes long, and that is a really short amount of time for me to fall asleep, and I'm shocked that it's worked for this long. I've been listening to it for over 6 months, not every night, but maybe 3 times a week. And there was a period of time when I first discovered how well it worked that I listened to it every single night, kind of in disbelief at it, and I feel like 9 times out of 10, I'm asleep by the end of it. If you just want to try this piece of music for yourself next time you're falling asleep, it's linked in the description. But as this is a music nerd channel, I wanted to analyze why it is that it works so much better than anything else I've experienced. So let me tell you a bit about it and why I think it's so effective. This little chunk of music was just a bit of guitar noodling that I did when I was plugged into a ridiculous effects chain for my last video. I basically just spent half a day making a bunch of delicious sound soup with various effects and instruments, and as I was going through the recordings later, there were a handful of moments that stood out to me, and this sleepy excerpt was one of them. It really drew me in, I love the atmosphere, and I was thinking about how I could edit it or add to it to make it something more, because as much as I liked it, I still recognized it as just a bunch of random things that I played on the spot. So I kept returning to it, thinking about how to develop it, and that meant that I ended up listening to it laying in bed at night sometimes, and that's how I eventually realized how consistently good it was for sleep. I'd be listening to all kinds of different stuff, but that little piece always seemed to put me to sleep, and that made me kind of afraid of changing it or adding any instruments to it, because what if it was just so? What if I ruined its delicate balance? So I decided to leave it as is and continued to use it as my magical sleep aid, thinking that it must wear off eventually. But 6 months in, I just want to share it and hope that it finds some other people whose ears or brains or whatever are like mine, and maybe help some people get to sleep faster. And it was also after it had been working for so long that I thought about analyzing why it did work. There must be something tangible about it, because obviously we know some sounds are not good for sleep. But there are also plenty of these gentle atmospheric pieces out there, and lots of them don't work for me either, or they don't work nearly as often. So here's my analysis. The things that I played in those 4.5 minutes move gradually and on multiple levels from higher energy to lower energy. Firstly, the notes themselves start out much higher, and by the end, I'm at the lowest notes on the guitar. So overall, there's this descending arc. And kind of as a byproduct of that, but also because of what I was playing, the music goes from brighter to darker. It starts out with higher frequencies and a lot more major chords and intervals. By the end, I'm playing lower, I'm playing minor. And I also happened to adjust the effects to get darker in tone. At the beginning, they're doing this fun stuff. And by the end, it's more droney and washed out. And that kind of ties into the next thing, which is that it goes from busier to sparser. At the beginning, I play faster, the effects are a little glitchy. And by the end, I'm leaving lots of space where you're hearing these echoes and reverbs trail off. It also goes from meandering to more focused. It begins with complete noodling. I'm not even really trying to make music at the beginning. I'm just testing out different effect settings. And then I play something that I start to vibe with a little more. I explore explore it for a few variations, and then I'm out. One other little detail is there's this one spot where I was adjusting the time parameter on the tape delay and everything kind of floats up. And every time I get to this part in the piece, it has a physical effect on me. It makes me feel lighter, it makes me relax my facial muscles. This many listens in, I'm sure part of it is that I've just trained that to be a trigger for myself to relax, but definitely it came out of noticing a feeling that it imparted on me, which is something that we know music does. Lastly, I think a big aspect of what makes this piece work is that it was unintentional. Music made with intention is gonna be more regular and repeated and easier to latch onto or figure out. I find sometimes when I'm listening to music to sleep and it's not working, it's because either it's exciting me or it's making me bored. I either get into it too much or it's so bland that I just wanna ignore it and think about something else, and then of course that's bad for sleep. Your brain always wants something, it hates being bored, so you need to have that thing that occupies just enough of your mind that you're not really thinking, but you're thinking enough that you're not thinking about how much you're not thinking, and you're not thinking about how much you're not sleeping. And I think I stumbled into that with this piece, which is somewhere in the middle between structured and unstructured. It's not repetitive, but it's not random. It's not exciting, but it's not boring. It's not predictable, but it also never really surprises you. It just gives your brain a little something to fidget with as it pulls you lower and into more space and into more darkness. So I have questions. The big one, of course, is whether or not this works for you. The track is called Lull. It's linked in the video description. Next time you're going to bed, do all the other sleep stuff you do, of course, too. I was gonna say brush your teeth. I mean, do brush your teeth, but brushing your teeth is not gonna help you sleep. Turn off your lights and close your eyes and take slow, deep breaths and probably be lying down. If you do your usual sleep routine with this piece of music, does it help? I'm really curious to know if there's anybody else out there or if it's just me. I'm also curious to know if you have any other uncommon or super specific things that help you sleeping. Let's fill up this comment section. Let's just make it a place where people could maybe find another thing that works for them. Doesn't matter if it's a piece of music or not, but if there's something weird that works for you, drop a comment. I would just love for more people to get better sleep through this video. Good night.